Welcome to Yoga Power Core. My name is Lance. I'm an instructor at the Monterey Sports Center. I will be your yoga guide. You are your yoga teacher. You know how to care for yourself. For this class, you'll need a mat, a block, or a small ball. If you have sensitive knees or wrists, use appropriate supports. This class is for all levels of abilities, so you will need to choose the posture that works best for you. I will offer several variations. Choose wisely. Just like Goldilocks, we improve our muscular strength and endurance by selecting the level of effort that is just right, not too easy and not too hard. Remember, your ego is not your amigo. Take short breaks whenever you need to. Never exercise at a level that is overly strenuous or painful. In time, you will get stronger, so be patient, consistent, and keep attending this virtual class. Whenever you feel strain or compression in the lower back, take a break. Listen to your body. In this class, we will balance working all parts of the abdominal core by repeating a sequence of working the front, the sides, and the back muscles. We'll use both static holds, isometric muscle work, and dynamic movement, isotonic muscle work. So let's begin. We'll begin by warming up the torso and the spine, moving it in all 6 directions. Let's begin by simply rolling the shoulders back, moving with the breath, slowing down the breath and deepening it, inhaling, and then exhaling long and slow. As you exhale, feel the core tighten just a bit. Now rolling the shoulders in the opposite direction. Inhaling up, and then exhaling down. We can begin to make the movements bigger by bringing the arms forward with a curved back as we inhale up. And as we exhale down, bringing the arms down, feel the shoulder blades slide down the back as the core tightens just a bit. Inhaling, exhaling long and slow, engaging that core muscle. Now let's inhale, sweep the arms up, grasp one wrist. We'll side bend over, stretching the side of our body. Pausing here for a moment, just easing into the movements, and then flowing over in the opposite direction, exhaling as we bend. Breathing here for a moment, feeling the stretch. Let's go back to the other side. And one more time, over to the other side. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, hands flowing through the heart. Back to mountain pose with the arms at the side. Let's sweep the arms up. And as we exhale, we'll twist, lowering the arms. Inhale up, coming to center. Exhale, twist in the opposite direction. Inhale up. Long, slow breath. Exhale down. Inhale up. Center And then exhale, twisting as we lower the arms. Bringing the arms over the head. Let's fold forward. We'll begin by bending the knees. With a flat back, we hinge at the hip, bringing the ribs, the lower ribs to the thigh. Trying to keep the back flat. Let's hang here for a moment in waterfall, lengthening the back, feeling the ribs, lower ribs, moving to the thighs. The knees are bent to protect the lower back. Now we inhale to a half lift, straightening the legs, flattening the back. You can bring the hands to the shins. And then forward fold as you exhale, bend the knees. Come to that half lift again. Exhale, fold forward. With bent knees, we'll inhale all the way up, upward salute. Exhale, hands to the heart. We'll continue our warm-up with the sun salutation. So inhale to upward salute. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to a half lift. And then step back with one leg and the other to plank pose. Getting the hips right between the feet and the shoulders, long flat back. Then lower down to the mat, keeping the elbows close to the body. Inhale, lifting up through the cobra poses. Exhale, hands and knees, tuck the toes to downward facing dog. And straighten out your mat. Find a nice flat back. A long line from wrists to shoulders to hips. You can bend the knees here to get that nice flat back. And then begin to pedal out the legs. Slowly straightening them. Coming up on the toes. Lowering the heels down. They don't have to reach the mat. It's not a goal. And then we can step forward with one foot and the other to that half lift. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, upward salute. Hands to the heart. Let's do that one more time. Upward salute as we inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a half lift. Step back with one leg, then the other to plank pose. Then lower the knees, chest and the chin as we exhale to the mat. Inhale up through the cobra poses. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pausing here for a few breaths. Just move into the pose. Lifting the hips high. And then we'll step forward with one foot and then the other. That half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, hands to the heart. Back to mountain pose at the top of your mat. We'll begin our core work with plank pose. It's an all-around strengthener of the entire core. Upward salute, forward fold, soft knees, ribs to thighs, flat back, half lift, and step back as you exhale to plank pose. We're trying to get a flat line from heels to hips to shoulders to the back of the head. So we're holding the pose, breathing here. So this is where we start to have options. You can bring the knees to the mat, but keep the hips between the knees and the shoulders. This is also a good version of plank. Notice the shoulders are right over the wrist. We're all holding here in plank. Some of you have stayed up into full plank pose. Others have come down to the knee. Finding our breath here. We're going to do another variation of plank pose, forearm plank pose. So we come down to one forearm and then the other. Getting those hips right between the shoulders and the ankles for that nice flat line. Trying to get the shoulders right over the wrist. Again, you can bring your knees down, but get the hips right between the knees and the shoulders. Or you can stay up in forearm plank pose here. So this static hold really works the core. And if you like, you can stay up here for 5 minutes. Try to break the record. I think it's 5 hours, so let's not do that. So coming down to the knees, we'll sit the hips back into child's pose. If your hips don't reach your heels, you can put a blanket there. Reach the arms out and bring the forehead down to something. If it doesn't reach the mat, stack your hands or your fists. This is our resting recovery pose. You can come here at any time you need a little break, recharge your energy, and then get back into the practice. Let's come back up to our knee plank. So get those hips right between the shoulders and the knees. We're going to do some chaturanga push-ups. So we're keeping the elbows tucked in. They'll rub against the ribs. As we exhale down, don't let the elbows bend more than 90 degrees, and then back up we go. And down. Inhale up. Here's 3. And let's do a couple more. If you want, you can do them off the knees. It's a little more challenging. But do the variation that works for you. Always choose the option that's just right for you. I'll offer several. You don't need to do the hardest one. You don't need to do the easiest one. Pick the one that's just right. So now let's move and work the abdominal muscles. We'll move to boat pose. In Sanskrit, the word is navasana, the pose of the boat. So we keep our back nice and flat here. Really focus on that. When the lower back gets tired, please take a break. That's your red flag that tells you you need a rest. So for boat pose, we can hold the back of the ankles and we can lift the shins up as high as you're comfortable. Let's try for parallel with the mat. Keeping the back nice and flat. Here we are in boat pose. If you need a break, you can put one foot down or the other. And to come into full boat pose, we extend the arms out and breathe here, engaging those abdominal muscles. We can focus on our breath by bringing the arms up, inhaling, and then exhale, slide the arms and shoulder blades down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. And then let's grab those thighs. You can take a break, bring the feet down to the mat, or just stay up here in boat pose. Of course, you can always make it harder. You can repeat that sequence, or we can try it by straightening the legs and then reaching up, inhaling, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. My legs are starting to wobble a little. Back into boat pose. And then we'll come down to the mat. Lengthen that spine. Let's do a little seated back bend, lifting the heart up. Making sure we have a nice tall spine. And now we're ready for the next exercise. Okay, we're ready to work our side muscles, the internal and external obliques. We'll do that with a side plank. So there's lots of variations. Let's begin on our knee, with the hip over the knee. Here we are in side plank. Extend the arm forward just to get a little stretch. Bring it up, and we're holding here in side plank. So our next level is to extend both legs. Notice that my top leg foot is in front of the lower leg foot. That gives me more stability, and I can hold here this nice static pose, nice long line in side plank. If you want more, you can bring the foot on top of the other one, stacking it on top of the other. This is a little more challenging. And we're breathing here with a nice strong core in full side plank. Now there's another option. We can come down to our forearm if this bothers your wrist, and back to side plank like this, trying to keep the shoulder over the wrist and the arms stacked above each other. Notice I've got my foot in front of the other foot. I can stack the feet. This is a little more stable and accessible than with the straight arm. So choose the option that works best for you in side plank. And it's time to work the other side. Beginning with our knee on the mat, finding our stability here, breathing nice and easy, and then maybe extending the arm, making a long line from ankle to hip to shoulder to hand. Getting that shoulder over the wrist, and if you like, then extending both legs. The top leg foot is in front of the lower leg, trying to have a nice long line from wrist to shoulder to hand. And again, we have the option of stacking feet, a little more challenging. Really power up that core. Focus on a strong core. Don't think about your arms. Find your breath. Try to find some steadiness. And again, we can come down to the forearm. Another nice variation with one foot in front of the other. And of course, we can stack the feet on top of each other. So we're holding this pose as long as we can. Always take a break when you need it. And let's come down to a forearm plank. Find your breath, find your steadiness. Lower the knees and sit back into child's pose. This is extended child pose with the arms reaching forward. You can bring the arms back if you like. Taking a well-deserved break in child's pose. And now it's time to move on to the next part of the core. So it's time to work the back. So let's come down to our belly. We'll begin in plank pose. Get that long line and lower the knees down, tuck the elbows in, and lower the body to the mat. The hands are under the shoulders and then back. The elbows are tucked in. The 10 toenails are pressing into the mat. Maybe the kneecaps come up a bit. Now let's use our back muscles to lift our upper body forward, but keep the neck in line with the spine by just gazing at the top of the mat. Can you lift your elbows up? And then maybe pulse here. Let's exhale, lower down. And then we'll lift up again, pulsing, lower down. Now let's try lifting the lower body. We can start with one leg, and then the other, and then maybe bring both legs up. Just a few inches off the mat, reaching through the toes to the back of the wall, and then lowering down. Let's bring the hands back, and we'll lift those legs again. And to come into the full locust pose, we can lift our arms, gaze just at the top of the mat, holding this pose. If you have the shoulder flexibility, you can clasp your hands together, pressing the palms together, lifting up here and breathing. Lower down. Place one cheek on the mat. Let's take a break. And then we'll lift up one more time into locust pose. Finding that long, slow breath. We try to breathe deeply and slowly in all of the poses. The breath is the indicator as to whether we're doing the poses correctly for our body, where we are today. When you start to breathe rapidly or gasping, take a break. Let your breath be your guide, and lower down. Hands by the sides, press up to hands and knees. Come into plank pose. And then sit back on your heels. Good job. You have completed part 1 of the Yoga Power Core workout. We've worked all parts of our abdominal core. If you want more, find the part 2 video for Yoga Power Core. You're all warmed up and ready to go there right now. If you're finished with your workout, enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste.